defense. Wow. Hey, sometimes you, sometimes me, always us. Guys, that pays off, right? We are a smart football team, right? You guys did a great job in those moments. We had a couple of those like that. Really good job. We figured out a way. That's what we do. Hey, to win in Lambeau against a really good team, that shows a lot of courage. Hey, and welcome with a big-time strip sack.
Let me talk my shit again.
Yes, sir. What it do? This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. I know I'm enjoying my Victory Tuesday. Happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all the former and current military members still serving today. I served in the military many moons ago, so I don't need that praise or that thank you. But shout out to those that are still doing it, that did do it. There's nothing like showing appreciation for those that sacrifice for something bigger than themselves. No one's bigger than the program. So on Veterans Day, shout out to all the veterans out there. And really shout out to all the Eagles fans out there. Because when it came down to us locking in and watching this game, that was a tall order, a tough ask. I mean, we're talking about absolute snooze fest. The reason why I have on my robe right now is not because I felt comfortable and super confident after the game. My confidence is not swaying. Let's not be confused here. But when it comes down to it, I'm tired. Not physically, but I'm tired mentally and visually. My eyes hurt from having to watch this team revert back to its primitive form. I mean, we're talking about a team with star-studded cast on the offensive line in the skills positions, and we couldn't get more than 10 points against the Green Bay Packers. Good defense, yes. But the way that our team is structured and built, there's just no excuses for that. When your best receiver, your best target on the opposite side of the ball gets 3 targets, his third target being a fourth down and 9 heave, ill-advised throw, off-script throw. That's his third target of the game. Something got to give. Something got to change. But when it comes down to the way this game went and really what I thought going into the game, clearly Jalen Phillips, JP, doing his Eagle celebration 2 years ago at the link. I mean, this shit was written. It was in the cards. He was meant to be an Eagle, and that showed and proved just last night in that game. Now, we know the offense was absolute shit show. I mean, it was very tough to watch. It didn't matter if it's the first quarter or last quarter. It was not exciting at all on the offensive side of the ball. But when it came down to it, our quarterback made plays that ultimately led us to the victory. And in the end, if we know how this podcast goes, winning is all that matters. How it looks, we talk about that, we break that down, we even tap into it here and there. But at the end of the day, if we're getting the victory, there's not a lot to complain about here. The fact that Saquon Barkley's biggest play of the game was on the first drive of the entirety of the game, I mean, it is, there's so many ways in which you can accept disrespect and really allow someone to piss on you until it's raining, because we just deserve better. As fans, the players deserve better, given the amount of work that they put in week week out, every practice. We just deserve a better performance out of this team. Yes, we were missing Cam Jurgens. Yes, Lane Johnson went out for a little bit. But there's just not, those things are not excusable. Those are not good enough. Not only did the Packers miss a guy on their offensive line, we're just too dynamic. We're not on the same level as the Packers, and yesterday was a mid-off on Monday night. That's exactly what happened. Especially, let's be for real here. Respect to the Green Bay Packers defense and our defense as well. But the offense, I mean, calling it anemic, calling it uncreative and bland, it's just putting it very lightly and simple. But this is the biggest run play out of Saquon Barkley, his biggest play over the entirety of the game and for the game in general. A 41-yard pickup, which obviously Saquon Barkley can do what he does, easy broken tackle. And I know a lot of people have a lot of thoughts when it comes to A.J. Brown and his involvement in the game plan, his attitude, the way he he runs half-ass routes, whatever the case is. There's several reasons why I've not given up on A.J. Brown. First and foremost, the guy's a 3-time All-Pro Super Bowl champion. His best years have been in Philly. Aside from that, the dead cap money to move him, it's not going to happen. Just cannot do that. It's not responsible in any way, shape, or form fiscally. And thirdly, the guy, even knowing that he's going to get double, triple teamed week in and week out, very rarely sees man-on-man coverage, still make an effort right here when you know he's not getting targeted. It's a swing pass. He sees Saquon Barkley break the tackle, running down the field to help block and help him get more yards. Because what did this actual play end up resulting to? We'll see later on with Devontae Smith and what he did in this game. Because Devontae Smith, over the course of the season, has become receiver number one. And to me, I couldn't ask for anything better. Because not only is it showing that A.J. Brown is not an only calling card, or neither is Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith is a Heisman Trophy winner for a reason. He's a phenomenal receiver. A lot of people want to say he's number 2. He is 1B. And over the course of this season, he's become 1A. And ultimately, he deserves this. This is a guy that we drafted in the first round. I want to say top 10. A guy that we helped groom to being a guy who should be a Pro Bowler. And if he continues to play this way, play himself into an All-Pro selection, Devontae Smith is a phenomenal receiver. Big pickup right here on the 3rd and 12, which, again, the offensive play calling, the flow of the plays being called needs a lot of work. Because why are we waiting until the 4th quarter on 3rd and 12, where in other situations early on in this game, when it's 3rd and 10 plus, we're running the ball, which is insane. But when we had to have it, when we had to put the game away on 3rd and 12, easy pickup, damn near a handoff from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. That's what happened there. But to put the game away, the game-sealing touchdown, because this game only had 2 touchdowns in its entirety from both teams. But an absolute head-top catch by Devontae Smith. I mean, again, we have to wait till our backs up against the wall. And if you ask me, I think the way that the first drive went and the fact that Jalen Hurts fumbled the ball on that drive, the play calling just went completely conservative. Whether or not Kevin Patullo is fearful for his job, because a guy who's way more accomplished and got fired for less than Brian Daboll, he got fired just yesterday. Maybe he's fearful for his job security. And ultimately, that should get you fired too. Coaching and playing to not get beat, to not lose, will get you fired in this league, will result in you losing eventually. You got to be aggressive. You got to play to win. And ultimately, you got to trust your players. A.J. Brown is a stud, but clearly Devontae Smith is a stud as well. Trust these guys to make plays. There's no way around it. 7 targets, 4 catches of 69 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown having 3 targets. His 3rd target being a ill-advised throw, a heave on 4th and 9. Come on, man. What are we doing on the offensive side of the ball? This shit needs to come to an end quick and in a hurry. But moving on to the defense, because the defense absolutely held it down in the entirety of this game. I said it before the game started, and it actually bared out to be true. The D-line was going to be vastly improved with the injection of JP, Jalen Phillips, and that's exactly what we see here on this play. Jalen Hunt has taken a step forward this year. I mean, for him personally, 5 tackles, 2 tackles for losses, and this sack right here on the opening drive had a lot to do. If you see on the other side, number 50, creating that pressure, allowing Jalen Hunt to get home. Huge play. I mean, killed that first drive for the Green Bay Packers. And then the man himself coming back from injury, Nakobe Codeine, forcing a huge fumble, one of our 2 turnovers over the course of this game, when they're in a position to at least get 3, if not go up and get the first touchdown of the game. Big play here by Nakobe Dean. Could not be proud of what he's been doing since coming back from injury. Even being in rotation with a guy like Jahad Campbell, who's shown that he belongs in this league. He deserves to be a starter. But Nakobe Dean's not taking that light. In 65% snaps, talking about 6 solo tackles that led the team, 1 tackle for loss, a forced fumble, as well as a sack. Huge game by Nakobe Dean. And really, the guy that was already mentioned, I'm going to show it again because phenomenal play here by JP, Jalen Phillips. I mean, this play was already killed. It was already cooked because illegal motion by the Green Bay Packers. But the guy also mentioned more Ojomo calling this play out and calling the fact that they're going to run an inside zone to that particular side. Josh Jacobs mentioned it. As soon as Moro Joe called out the play, he was already cooked in his brain. He didn't know where to go with the ball and who made the play. Not only did Jalen Phillips, JP, make the tackle, Reed Blankenship, cementing the way that the drive was going to end with a forced fumble. And that's ball game. That's all she wrote. And it didn't matter if it was Jordan Love. It didn't matter if it was Josh Jacobs. The Green Bay Packers were never on our level to begin with. I'm not going to lie, man. Seeing the way that this team played, understanding that we left a lot of meat on the bone. I'm talking about tendonism was left on there on that field. I understand the weather is a factor. I understand that guys coming back from injury also a factor. But when you come out of a bye, given the way that we went into the bye, the 2 games previously, going into the bye the way in which we did, there's just no excuses here. The offensive line needs to play better. Kevin Patullo is a terrorist and known double agent when it comes to this offense. And aside from that, I gotta call a spade and keep it a buck. Jalen Hurts missed a couple throws here and there. No one is perfect, him included. But when you look at all these factors incorporated, and when you look at what has been consistently an issue for this team, offensive line blocking, especially in the run game, and the play call. Because the fact that Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs in all of football, can only muster, on 22 carries, 60 yards, he had over 100 yards from scrimmage because of that big catch, 3 catches for 41 yards, so over 100 yards from scrimmage. But 22 carries for 60 yards, and I know that Micah Parsons had a lot to say about that. He thought that the defense played great for the Packers. They did for the most part. But much like Big Bro, Terrence Parsons, Micah Parsons is a dirty young bull. You want to talk about holding Saquon Barkley to 60 yards? There's a good reason for that. Because you committed an illegal play. You tripped Saquon Barkley where the game is in the balance. This is 4th quarter. Once he gets past this level on the line, I firmly believe he's hitting his head on the goalpost. That is ball game. Indisputable victory. But given the fact that he is a liability in the run game, the run defense, that's the best he can do. And ultimately, I'm not surprised. Once a Cowboy, always a Cowboy. Micah Parsons, fine player. Got to give respect to that. But when it comes down to seeing us in the Philadelphia Eagles, I've never been concerned with Micah Parsons. What did he do in the game? 2 tackles, 3 pressures, no QB hits, not a single sack. And ultimately, your best play was tripping Saquon Barkley. And that, to me, speaks volumes. Not only to who Michael Parsons is, where he came from, and where he's going. And that's absolutely nowhere. Because the Green Bay Packers are who we thought they were. They went from the number 1 seed before they lost, before they lost and while we were on the bye, to now the number 7 seed in the entirety of the conference. Flirting with not even making the playoffs. The Eagles are the number 1 seed in the NFC for a very good reason. Obviously, we have great leaders. We have great talent. The coaching needs to match up with what we have on the field because right now we're being held back. And really, it's inexcusable, and we're running out of time to where we can correct this in time, in real time, because we're already past our bye. So that's over. We should have came out the bye firing on all cylinders, and that just did not happen. I get it. The Packers are a good defense, but we've seen this team several times over. We've seen Micah Parsons several times over. We should have had their number, and we just did not. We did not play at the level at which we should have played at. The standard is high for a reason because we've shown that that's where we can play. With that being said, we remain number 1 in the NFC, and ultimately we got the Detroit Lions in the link on Sunday night football, primetime game. We'll see how the offense comes out, and despite how the offense did look, the defense looked levels better. Shout out to Harry Roseman again for getting Jalen Phillips, JP, because what an addition. Easily the best in-season trade by Howie Roseman in his entire tenure as a GM, hands down. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your humbly hostile host, Cassius Cliff. If you've not done so already, please like, share, subscribe, as well as comment. Goes a long way. Thank you in advance. We out to the next one. Peace.